Linda Lyday and Brad Staggs. Give us a call or send us an email to get answers on Talk2DIY.
Hi, welcome to Talk to DIY. I'm Brad Staggs.
And I'm Linda Lyday, and today we're going to be answering your home improvement questions on a wide variety of topics. We're going to talk about some of those painting problems inside the house, from painting to faux finish.
Now, we'll also be taking your questions on walls, from painting them or repairing them, and of course, we'll dip into our grab bag and answer questions on any topic that you choose.
That's right. We'll get started with some commonly asked questions on wood, such as removing tough stains from wood and preserving precious wood items. And we'll also be consulting with our refinishing expert, Charlie Saw, who joins us via webcam from Knoxville, Tennessee. Charlie, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, Charlie. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Welcome to the show. We'll talk to you in just a few minutes. Hang tight.
Thank you.
All right.
Stay right there, Charlie. If you'd like to have your questions answered right here on the show, all you have to do is give us a call, 866-TALK-2, the number 2, DIY, or you can click over to our website where you can post your question. And Linda, I'm set. I'm raring. How about you?
I am too. Let's get to our first question. It's a caller, Judy in Los Angeles. Judy, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi there, Judy. What
Judy.
happened to your hardwood floors?
I spilled some red hair dye on it.
Oh, were you doing that yourself?
Yeah.
Oops. Okay, so you own your home?
No, it's an apartment.
Oh, call the super. No. Well, you probably want to get your deposit back, right?
Right.
All right. Well, there's a few things that you need to know. That 3 different kinds of bleaches. Now, there are, you have oxalic acid. You can, there's also a 2-part bleach, and there is a chlorine bleach. Now, before you use any kind of bleach, if you're going to use a bleach on a floor, first you have to get the finish up. So you can take a refinishing kit, comes in your home center, and it even has some steel wool in it. Okay, you won't need the tung oil finish, but you will need this furniture refinisher to take that top coat of polyurethane. Once you do that, then you can take bleach. Now, of course, you have a 2-part bleach. You could try this, but I tell you what, this is an AB bleach. You'll hear about that, 2-part bleach. But this, for a red dye, you know, I would go into a chlorine bleach. Now, if you have some cool, you know, just regular old laundry bleach, use that. And if you have a deeper stain, then you might want to try some pool bleach, okay? And you want to make sure you have some goggles, some gloves on, protect your eyes, and then what you will do is you will take a rag, you work from the middle and work out. And I already started doing this on the middle here, and it's going to take a little bit of elbow grease, and you can see on this oak floor that's really getting into the pit. So I would suggest to get some pool chlorine bleach, okay, and just mix it with some nice hot water and then put it on there and then keep stretching it out. You're going to want to take your rag and keep moving it around, and eventually it will come up, okay? It's going to take a little bit of elbow grease, but those are your 3 kinds of bleaches. Chlorine bleach would be for this stain. How's that?
That's great.
And remember, it's never going to be perfect. So few things in life are.
Nothing in my home is perfect.
Oh,
then you have the perfect home.
And hopefully you'll get your deposit back when you move out of there.
Good luck.
All right, good luck.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have another question. This one is from Angie in, is it Walterboro, South Carolina?
Correct.
Hi, Angie.
Hi.
What is your question?
My grandmother has given me my grandfather's old push plow.
Right.
And the handles are wooden, and they've been rotting.
Right.
And I would like to preserve them the way that they are, and I'd actually like to use the plow maybe in a yard, as yard decoration, in a flower bed or something like that.
Great idea.
I love that look.
And I was just wondering if there was, you know, anything that I could do to preserve them.
Well, I would have to say the short answer to that is yes, and I'm going to call in our refinishing expert right now, Charlie Saw. You heard the question. What do you think?
Well, Brad, if the wood is rotting, you would need to stabilize all those wood fibers.
Right.
They do make a product that's made for rotting wood. I would put that on first, and then go put on top of it exterior finish, which is a urethane or a marine varnish, and put several coats.
Could you use something like a polyurethane glue maybe to hold those fibers together as well?
You could use that first, correct.
All right, and actually, what I want to do is show some of those. Oh, can you grab me those boards, Stanley? What I'm going to do is show you those wood fibers that we were just talking about here. This is probably a lot like what you've got, Angie. You see, once wood starts getting really deteriorated, it really starts breaking down, and those fibers can also almost turn to dust. So this is really what you want to do to hold those things together, as Charlie was saying. The next thing, of course, once you got the fibers held together, you want to coat it with something that is weather resistant. All right, the marine varnish is best. Obviously, you're going to go to the home center. You're going to find things that are for floors. Don't use a water base. That'd be a bad thing outdoors. You find something that actually says water resistant. Now this is a water resistant coating for wood, and what you'll do is give that several coats. And actually I had this idea, which personally I thought was actually very good. Piece of wood back here. Well, this could represent the old deteriorated handle, the wooden handles on that plow. You'd want to fill up the container, some type of a tall container, with the polyurethane or actually the weather-resistant coating, and submerge those handles in that fluid. Take them out, let it dry, give it a couple of coats. It's really going to soak into that wood and really, really give it some tough resistance. Of course, as we were talking with our last question, there is no such thing as the perfect fix to anything. So over time, you're going to have to repeat this treatment. What you could do is take off those old handles, store them, and put new pieces of wood. Good luck, Angie.
Okay.
Hope that helped.
Thanks.
Thanks, Charlie. But now it's time for us to take a short break. When we come back, we'll get into those questions about painting inside your home, and later we'll take questions on walls. So stay with us.
Yep. To ease the pain of splinter removal, rub some toothache gel on the tender area, and your finger will become numb.
Against the clock and against each other.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hi. Allison, is that you?
Yes.
Hi, Allison. Where are you calling from?
Westerville, Ohio.
Oh, well, what's your question today?
Well, all the wood trim in my home is stained, and I'm currently trying to paint it all white. And I haven't had any problems up until now, and my dilemma is that I'd also like to paint the spindles going up the stairs and in the loft, but I'm afraid to tape off the handrails at the top and the bottoms of the spindles because I'm afraid the paint might bleed underneath the tape.
Right.
So does that mean I have to disassemble the railing and paint the spindles and then reassemble?
Oh, my. No, no, no. Don't go that way.
Well, how do I prevent the paint from bleeding under the tape? I mean, what do you think I ought to do?
Okay, well, first of all, make sure you don't disassemble your rails and your stairs, and you can leave it be. The best thing to do, of course, is to go and get painter's tape. Now, the painter's tape, not masking tape, painter's tape, because it won't peel off the tape. Comes in different colors and different sizes. First thing you want to do, I like to make a tab, so when you're peeling it back off, you'll be able to pull it right off. Now, I started taping this out, but what you want to do is you want to get that tape right up to your spindle, follow it all the way around. Okay, now once you get the paint down, here's the trick. You want to make sure that that paint, the tape is nice and stuck to the surface that you're painting around. Because what happens is a lot of times that tape actually is not pressed down hard enough, and then of course the paint can come up underneath it. Now you can paint, whether you're staining or painting over stain or painting over paint, as we have these spindles here, there's a few different items that you can use. These are little rollers that go around the spindles. You just bring them in your your paint, roll them across like this, all right? Yeah. Now, you're going to squeeze them over the spindles. What's nice about this is it allows you to get a couple of sides at a time, okay? You can just bring it around, and actually I would bring this way and bring it down. Now, getting down at the base there or at the top, what you can do is you can take, well, you could take a little bit of a, small paintbrush, or you can take a Q-tip and you can paint the Q-tip, and I would probably start doing this at the beginning and then roll it up, but I'm a little tight on time. And then, of course, you want to let that dry, okay? Now, once this is dry, you will see that I started my first tab of paint. I had that tab there, and so it will bring this up, all right?
Yeah.
So you can start bringing it up. And if you do have any paint that did get up underneath there, and remember, don't flood it with paint, okay? You want to make sure you just put enough that you will need. And if you do, there's these wonderful oops wipes, and they just come right out, and then you can put this around your scraper and take the paint off like that, okay? Good luck.
you.
It's very easy. Make sure you tape it.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect, perfect. And I love actually, I love our next question because
What's that?
it is so much like a project that I've done. Katie, are you there?
Yes.
Katie, tell me about what you're trying to do.
I like to paint the linoleum in my kitchen.
Okay, you want to paint it any particular, I mean, you're looking for a different style, what? Just a solid color, what?
Yeah, I want to paint it like a slate tile.
Okay.
Right.
Well, do you kind of have a recipe for doing the slate part? I mean, you know how to do the slate?
Yes, I can do the full finish, no problem, but
Right.
how do I prepare the surface?
First of all, well, we've got our linoleum right here. What you want to do is make sure that that is just really nice and clean. And if there's any wax on it, get a wax stripper. Use the wax stripper to take off any wax. Clean it thoroughly with TSP, trisodium phosphate. You want to really get all the goop off there. I've actually done this before. You can use an oil porch or floor paint. If you can't find the oil porch and floor paint, which is almost hard to say, oil porch and floor paint, you can use an oil-based enamel. What you want to do is go around the room, obviously start in the corners and don't back yourself into a corner, but you'll want to paint that whole, the whole floor at once. Give it a nice coat, give it a second coat. I did it with gray, and then I actually used paper bags to make it look like brick. Now, if you're going to make it look like slate, you're going to want different shades of gray, obviously. But the gray base coat over the entire floor there, use brushes around the corners, a roller for the main part, plenty of ventilation. Let it dry at least 24 hours, then touch it with your finger to see if it's tacky or not before you walk on it. All right, those are the key elements right there. If you do that, if you follow those instructions, you're going to have a successful job. Remember, oil, porch, and floor paint. All right?
Linoleum, who knew?
Good
Okay,
luck.
if you'd like to find out more information on this topic or others coming up, or if you'd like to email a question to us, check it out on the website, www.diynet.com. And now it's time to take a break. We'll be right back.
Skedaddling. Dampening strips of newspaper is a great technique for keeping your windows clean while painting.
Later today, DIY Network's home improvement experts help.
A dresser and a chest of drawers in my daughter's room that I want to paint, but it is not solid wood. It has a veneer finish. Should I just use a primer like Kills and then paint? What is the best kind of paint to use? Great question, great question. And the nice thing about this question is I get to show you some of the new products that are out now. Now what she's talking about is her furniture has evidently some kind of veneer. Now, if it's a wood veneer on it, then you can treat it just like you would any kind of solid wood, right? You want to take your sandpaper, you want to take the finish off of it. There's different kinds of, this is a surface cleaner and conditioner, but there's also different kinds of things out there now. ESP is an easy surface prep. Matter of fact, it says that you don't even have to sand. It just is an agent that you put on here, and then you can prime and paint right over it. Now, that, of course, is if it has a wood veneer. Now, what happens if you have a laminate veneer? And oftentimes you will see different pieces of furniture that has this particle board and then your laminate up here. Okay, well, you can paint this. We get a lot of questions about, can you paint, you know, laminate countertops or furniture? Yes, you can. Different products that they have now. There's this stuff called Aqualock. Fantastic. You can paint right over your veneer surface. You can also just scuff it up just lightly with the light piece of sandpaper, maybe 100 grit sandpaper, and then take off the dust, paint this, let this dry, and then this stuff is pretty neat. It's 2 parts. You mix can A into can B, and then you paint right over it, and it'll last you for a long time. It's an epoxy. Make sure it's well ventilated. Safety goggles, gloves, but this will do the trick. And you know, Brad, we get this question a lot, don't we?
If we've had it once, we've had it 1,000 times. And if you have a paint question for us, give us a call, 866-TALK2DIY. Stay right there because we're coming back with more of your questions next. No, you certainly don't. We're going to use these in a minute. First of all, I want to show you a couple of pictures. These are from Creative Homeowner Press's book, The Home Book. All right, and we're going to look at the heat gun aspect of this first, because you can actually take a heat gun and melt that paint right off of the baseboard. Now, what you have to be really careful with, number one, is you have to be scraping that paint off when it starts to bubble up after that heat gun has heated the paint up. All right, number two, you want to make sure that you don't burn the wood and you don't burn the paint on the wall. You also should wear a NIOSH approved filter or breathing apparatus, just in case there are fumes in that paint that could irritate you or possibly be harmful to you. So, and anytime you're dealing with old paint, that's the #1 rule. You don't want it to get inside your lungs. The second thing we can look at, Renee, is, of course, the buildup here. We've got some simulated buildup from, oh, this is literally hours of buildup here. What you want to do is remove that buildup. If you don't want to use the heat gun, what you can use is actually just a putty knife without the heat gun. And obviously, you would just take this along the top of that wood and get all of that old buildup off. That's years and years of paint. It's years and years of spackling. It's just all kinds of stuff. Now, the thing you have to worry about here is gouging the top of that baseboard, because these putty knives can get very sharp and you can actually gouge and take out a chunk of wood right there on top of the baseboard. They also sell these little numbers right here. I know they look a lot like a little cowboy boot, but it's actually a profile scraper. And what this is designed to do is get into the different profiles of trim boards that you can find out there. So there are a number of these actually available. And here's another little tool you might want to know about. This is actually a 5-in-1 tool that painters use quite a bit, and you can use this to get into little tiny crevices and cracks and crannies to get all of that paint out of there. So that's another option. Now, if you're kind of like me and you take the lazy way out, this is truly, this works wonderfully, actually. This is a great method, and it's almost a trompe-l'oeil. It's almost fooling the eye. What you'll need is painter's tape. And again, if we have a real buildup of paint along the edge of this baseboard, this has a fairly clean line to it, but if you do have a real nasty buildup here, take some painter's tape, and if you'll notice, I am not taping right down next to that baseboard, but I'm coming up maybe 1/8 of an inch. Okay? I'm going to burnish that down just like that, rub it down real well, and then make that your paint line, because what you'll end up with is a nice, smooth, straight line. The eye, most people aren't going to be paying that much attention down here. They won't notice that the paint actually comes up on the wall, so you really have fooled them. You've made it a little bit easier job on yourself, and you've made the whole room look good. What do you think? The lazy way out?
I think that is fantastic, and I have to say, I wish I thought of that 5-in-1 tool. I love that tool. One of my favorite tools, actually.
There you go.
Now, we sent our cameras out to the streets to find out other questions you have, and here's a question from Anita.
Have many imperfections, so what paint would you recommend to hide all those imperfections?
Okay, very good question. The easiest paint to use to hide imperfections would be, of course, flat paint. That's the most forgiving paint. Next to that would be a satin, or also known as an eggshell, and you can wipe that down. Of course, flat paint, you can't wipe that down. But there are other solutions to this. You could do a faux painting, but I'd like to show you a textured painting. And you can see that I have a prop here of different kinds of texturizing here. Now, you can get the paint that has the sand in it. It's texture paint. It's very easy. You put it on your paint tray. Now, they sell many different kinds of rollers out there, as you probably know if you've been to your home center lately. This roller has little loops in it. Now, I'm going to run this on the textured paint, and then when I put it on the wall, you will see that it has all different kinds of, thanks Brad, you have different kinds of little points and peaks to it. Okay, as you can see, it's very messy. I need to put a drop cloth down. Let's say you didn't like those points and peaks. What we did over here is I just literally smoothed it out with any kind of flat instrument. Of course, this is a scraper, and just smooth it out to whatever design you really like. Now, you will not see any kind of buckling in your wall as much as you would with just plain old paint. Very easy fix. And actually, it's kind of fun to work with, too. What do you think?
That.
You
I like that. It gives you a really, it's kind of like a faux stucco finish.
It is. It's nice.
Very, very attractive. All right, if you have a question for us, make sure that you email us, www.diynet.com. That's where you'll find a little button and an icon to click on. Send us your question, and we'll try to answer it on an upcoming show. But right now we have to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be switching gears and taking your questions on walls.
Oh, boy. Stay with us.
Yep.
In the Army Reserve.
Welcome back to Talk to DIY. Brad, our viewers have asked for it, so by golly, we're going to give it to them.
Money?
Well, answers to their questions about walls. So why don't you take the first one, and then I'll go from there.
I think that's a good idea. We actually sent our cameras out. We spanned the globe, and we happened to find Michael, who had a question concerning his walls.
I have paneling on most of the walls of my home, and I can't really afford to sheetrock them all right now. Do you have any tips for painting over the paneling?
Well, Michael, I'm glad you asked that question because that seems to be another popular question. Aside from painting countertops, this is one of them. Now, of course, paneling looks a lot like this. Paneling has these grooves in it, of course. Now, this is not true paneling. This is kind of imitation paneling, and you'll find this in a lot of homes, actually. But these grooves can be a real pain when you don't want to take the time to take the paneling down and put up drywall. Well, here is a simple solution I think you'll like, actually. Now, this is actually Bondo. Now, a lot of times this is used, this is actually the household version, but the reason they started making this is because so many people were using the automotive version for little jobs around the house. I've been using this for years on wood. It is absolutely fantastic for that because it's flexible. It's actually plastic. I'll show you what the stuff looks like. It's basically a plastic resin in there, but you'll see that it's just kind of, it starts out just a kind of a gray. And this is how I mix it up. Now what we're going to do is mix it on just a scrap piece of drywall, aptly enough. I'm just going to mix, oh, I don't know, a big old glop and tablespoon. The thing about this, number one, boy, it smells. All right, so you want to make sure you are using this in a well-ventilated area and using any kind of respirator equipment you need to if you are having to work inside. Now, the difference between the automotive variety and the household variety is that they're both two-part mixtures, but with the household variety, you have the white catalyst. On the you'll see a lot of times the automotive variety, it's pink all the time, actually, and you'll see it a lot on cars. But what you want to do is follow the mixing directions on the package or on the can, and you want to mix it up real well, all right? Because Bondo, if you don't mix it up just right, you'll have soft spots in it, and that is not a good thing. But it actually is a perfect filler for our purpose here. Now, I think that's pretty well mixed. I'm going to get all that off the putty knife. What you want to do is you want to work with a small amount, about like this at first. Now, this is quite a job if you're going to do this, so be prepared to spend some time with it, especially if you have a large room. What you're going to do is work that filler down into those cracks. Now, Michael, I know you said you didn't want to invest actually in redoing your walls, putting drywall up, because that's some expense. You are, however, going to invest some time. Now, the nice thing here also, if you have any scratches in your paneling, fill those up while you go. Get all of it off there, all the excess, because you don't want to sand any more than you have to. Wait until it hardens, and this stuff will harden up like plastic. It's best to use a palm sander, some type of an electrical sander, sand it down, prime it, and paint it. And look at the results here. You can see this is where we've sanded it, and I challenge you to find the groove in this side of the paneling here. It is nice and smooth, and once a color coat, this is actually his prime, once a color coat goes on top of here, you are going to have a brand new room. You won't have spent, well, nearly as much if you had spent the money on sheetrock or drywall.
That's great, but a lot of effort, isn't it?
It is a lot of effort. You know what they say,
What?
time or money, which one do you want?
Right. And how much does a can of Bondo thing cost?
$4,
Yeah,
$5.
it'll go a long ways, yeah.
Yeah, and you can get that in big gallon containers too.
Okay, very good.
Respirator, respirator, respirator. I want to emphasize that.
Right, right.
Sorry.
Good information.
Oh, yours.
All right, let's take a caller. Now, this is from Susan in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Susan?
Hi, I have a satin finish paint on the walls in my hallway.
Right.
And we're selling the house, and I have about half a can of paint left, and I need to touch up some of the spots on the wall. Can I use that paint to touch it up, or am I going to have to repaint the whole wall?
Okay, now, did you keep any paint in the attic?
Actually, I did.
You did? Okay, and how long has it been on the wall? The paint has been on the wall for how long?
It's been about 4 years.
4 years?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me just show you what you're going to be looking at. Of course, I'm sure your wall is probably not blue like I have demonstrated here, but when you have a wall that's been out there, if there is any kind of sun on it, it would lighten up the paint. If there's a lot of smokers, it is going to tarnish the paint, make it a little light brown. Of course, if the paint is in the kitchen, remember, you're going to have grease and heat, so it might almost patina the paint. But what I would do is I would try it first. I'll show you here what new paint then looks like. Of course, it goes on looking really different, and then it dries slightly different. My suggestion is to go from corner to corner if it's been about a 4-year span like you're talking about. If you do corner to corner, ceiling to floor, if it's in a small area or just one wall, just do that wall, and I guarantee it's going to match up with the rest of the room. Now, if you have painted within the 6 months time and there aren't smokers around, I would say that your paint would probably match up pretty well. And you know, Brad, I've tried to do this. I try to do the lazy, way out of these things, and sometimes I will try to even water it down and fan it out, and it depends what location this paint job is going to be, or this patch, depending on where your eye is going to be. But the best thing to do is, if you have enough paint, paint from wall to wall or a section. A lot of times it's just a little section that then it won't be like this one spot right in the middle. All right?
That's great advice. And,
okay,
and
good
Susan,
luck.
And Susan, if you do spot paint, turn the lights down low. No one sees it from that point. All right, we have to take a little break here, but before we go, let me remind you, our phone number is 1-866-TALK2DIY. That's a phone number you can call, ask us a question, and Linda and I and our in-house experts here will be more than happy to answer it for you. Stay right there.
Winter X Games 9, January 29th to February 1st, live at 9 p.m. on ESPN.
Welcome back to Talk to DIY. It's the show that takes your home improvement questions. I'm Linda Lyday.
Hi. I'm Brad Staggs, and right now we're talking about your walls, the walls that hold up your house. So they're very important. We have questions about
That's right.
them.
It's one thing that we all have in our homes.
That's right.
And I think we have an email on that very subject right now. Brad?
We do. This one is from Elisa in Palmdale, California. Elisa says, I have beautiful wood paneling in my kitchen. It has a dark stain on it. It looks as though someone took a stick to the wood, putting horizontal scratches along the wood. Is there any way to repair the scratches?
Oh.
Actually, yes, there is. But before I answer that question, I just want to say hi to everybody in Palmdale because that's like 10 miles from where I grew up.
Really?
Yeah, Palmdale, California.
Very nice.
I did okay, huh?
Hello.
All right, so anyway, while we're doing that, saying hi to old friends, let's bring in Charlie Saw. He is our refinishing expert, and I'll bet you've got some good advice, huh, Charlie?
Hey, Charlie.
Hi, yeah, I do. Keep in mind, anytime you have a scratch going across the grain, it's nearly impossible to hide. You can use some stain. There is a product called patch sticks, which are wax pencils. You'd have to get several different colors because the scratch will run across several different colors of the wood. So you would use a dark scratch going across the grain is just as bad as a light one, keep in mind. So that's one way you could put a finish back over that scratch with Q-tip and some finish itself because it will be dull in that scratch.
And things like gashes, is there any really good way to, if the scratch goes way down in there, is there a good way to get rid of that? Or
fill it out, fill it up?
Yeah.
Those wax pencils will work, but they are wax and they will stay soft, so you can't do a extremely large spot, but the small ones you can.
So what you're saying is basically fill it and add a nice coat of paint.
Paint or finish.
Actually, okay, Charlie, and you talked about some of these here. What I want to do is show a couple of these stain sticks. These are the ones that Charlie was just talking about. And the reason is, he was talking about getting a couple of different colors of them. Right here, I think if I get this in the light the right way, you can see that we're dealing actually with several different colors on the paneling. So obviously you'd have to have colors that matched all of these different colors in here, or pretty close to make it disappear. The one that actually we found was a, what is this, golden oak. This was absolutely amazing to me. I'm just going to, this is just a stain pen. It's got, it's just kind of like a felt tip marker. I'm just going to run this across this. The scratch is not horribly deep, but it's about a 1/16 of an inch. I'm going to wipe that away, and when you move it, let me show you the way you would actually see it on your wall without all that light shining on it. But you can see that really, when you go from here to over here, that is really going to improve that. So like Charlie said, they're doggone near impossible to get completely rid of, but Elisa, if you can minimize the look of it so that people can't see it as well, so it draws, and put something else, obviously, and this sounds silly, but literally, try to put, if you can put a plant or something in front of that area of the wall. I know it sounds dumb when you say that. It's like the old hide it with a rug. But truly, if you use that stain stick or those stain pens and then put something in front of it, you know, don't have it be the showcase feature of the room.
Of course, it wouldn't matter what color you put on it if you use
but that's a valid way to do it, and remember the plant.
That's great. Very good. Okay, now let's go to a caller. We have Scott from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Did I pronounce that right, Scott?
Yes, you did.
Okay, what's going on in Wisconsin?
Well, my house had radiant heat with those thermostats in each room.
Right.
And when the central heat and air was installed, the radiant heat was disconnected and those wires were cut.
Right.
And we left those thermostats in the walls of each room.
Okay.
Now we want to take those out. So, but when we take those out, how do we fix the holes in the wall?
Okay, well, of course, you know that you need to make sure that your wires are secured and locked down and taped up and wire nutted, correct?
Yes.
Okay, once that's done, the repair on this is very simple. Now, what you have to know is that when you have your hole in your wall here, you're going to have to screw a piece of drywall in. Make sure you get the drywall that is the same thickness of the wall itself. One thing that you can do, of course, you're not going to have the drywall. I'm cheating here because I'm actually using the same patch I took out of here. So when you get your drywall, I would say cut your piece, put it over the wall, make it a little bit bigger so you don't have to figure out what size to cut this. Take your drywall saw and cut that out, okay? But now what you need to do is we need to screw this piece of drywall in here. And the way we have to be able to hold that in there is we have to screw it to something. So put a piece of wood, I have a 2x4 in here, and you can see that a little trick, and thank goodness I did that. I put a screw on the board so that it holds it in place. Now, as I screw in, I will pull that screw out. And of course, I think I went right through another screw.
It's always good to have a friend behind your wall.
Hold on, let me just, there we go. Okay, I will this thing is actually shifting on me.
Try to hold that
But the
down for you.
reason why I have that screw in there, of course, is because I don't want to lose it behind there, and it helps me pull it. Thanks, Brad. Okay, now once you do that, you take this screw right out, and then I will speed this up a little bit since we're tight on time, and I'll put just one screw in here, and I'll screw this in place. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now the next thing, of course, you're going to do is I like the mesh tape. It has some rosin on it. You put that right over your seams. Rosin or resin, which do you say?
Tomato.
Okay, you'll put this on all of your joints. Make sure you'll do a little neater job than what I'm doing here. And this cuts pretty easily. Now, of course, I'm going to go quickly on this, put some compound over it, and of course you will graduate on your different size blades. And I think this needs a little more resin.
Well, you know, at home your walls are going to be a little bit sturdier. If you want more information, actually check out our DIY website, DIYnet.com. Back in a second.
Back right back.
Hi, I'm Jeff. Let's make some music. Well, I've been a sculptor all my life. Ever since I was a kid, I used to go take rocks out of the creek and bring them up and hit on them with hammers and chisels. And I carved balsa wood. These are probably one of the smallest things I make, but I do like making them. Musicians are popular because almost everybody played some kind of an instrument in high school, and so the contact for familiarity is there. Yeah, I use an air plasma cutter, which is a machine that superheats air to about 10,000 degrees, and at that temperature, air becomes electrically conductive, and it makes a little flame that's like a torch flame. Okay, now that piece is ready to be folded. Stainless steel is a great compound. It's almost indestructible. It's one of man's best inventions, I think, because it's weatherproof, it's versatile, it can be cleaned to the point of being antiseptic. So the body's finished, and we're ready to start the head. Over the years, I kind of figured out just how to do them, so I can get the eyebrows, and I can give them different expressions, make them look happy or sad or like they're playing the blues. The hardest thing for me is to make the girl musicians pretty. I can do the men's faces easily, but the girl faces are hard to do and make pretty. They all have individual faces, but you know, a lot of people say they see people they know in the faces of some of the sculptures that I make. I don't know why that is. Over the years, I've gotten more and more simple with the design, and it makes it easier to build and also has a much more fluid look to it. I'm Jeff Morgan. I compose in stainless steel, and I do it myself.
This week on the DIY Workshop, Tool School. The ABCs of Toolology, where you'll learn what tools to have, how they work, and how to use them. We start with common hand tools and graduate to power tools while learning tips for making the tools work for you. And for extra credit, find out how to stock a toolbox for plumbing, tiling, or refinishing projects. Take a seat for Tool School. All this week at 3:30 Eastern on DIY Network.
Hi, welcome back to Talk to DIY.
Oh, this is my favorite part of the show. You know why, don't you?
I think I do.
Oh, yeah. We reach into the grab bag and we choose any question, kind of by chance. This could be out of the realm. It's not walls. It's not painting. We don't even know what it is yet. So, time for the grab bag.
Okay, now I have a series of chips. I have the telephone call, the email, and the voicemail. Let me, there you go.
Dump them in there. We'll shake them up.
Okay. Let's see what do we have here. Ah, it is a voicemail. Let's see.
This is Julie from Nashville. What is the difference between paint grade and stain grade trim?
I know that one is more expensive than the other, but I'm not sure why. Thank you.
I was going to say about $3 a foot.
Yeah, that's a big difference right there, isn't it?
I know we've got some of both. You got to get up pretty early in the morning to fool us.
That's right.
All right, let's see here.
What do you have?
I'll try not to make too much noise with all this stuff here. Oh, all the, let's see, we've got our paint grade up there, and this is all stain grade. Well, first of all, paint grade wood, or paint grade trim, actually has joints in it. And if you have to look relatively closely right here. You can see the end of the joint right there. You twist that a little bit. Actually, if you come up here along the top of it, you'll see the joint. You'll see the joint where the grain changes.
And then the fingers at the top here,
right,
too.
The fingers. And actually, we have a really good illustration of it, too, if we can take a look at that illustration and see what that looks like, because they've actually exploded the finger joint. Now, why do they do this?
Well,
saves money.
Saves a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. When you've got little chunks of wood, you know, 8–10 inches long, you can put a bunch of those together and save all those chunks you otherwise would have thrown away.
And so many people paint this that it's crazy to spend all that money.
Oh yeah.
You know, on a solid a strip of molding.
Because it is, like she said, it's a lot more expensive, and we're talking, you know, sometimes the difference could be $2–3 a foot, and you see that there are no joints in this molding at all. So if you're going to stain it, if you want a really nice stain look, you'd want to opt for this. Actually, in truth, I've seen paint grade wood stained.
I have too.
I can't decide if I like it or not. I don't think I do. However, you could faux paint it.
You could faux paint it, and I just want to show you that when you do paint this, look at this. You can't even see where that seam is. So it really is, it's absolutely wonderful. And I just can't believe that the way they do that, you know, in the monitor when we just showed how the fingers came in, that
milling
it's
processes
so
are amazing.
Precise. Beautiful.
I noticed earlier you said you didn't like that color blue. What's up with that?
Okay, for a wall, all right? I think that when I grew up, you know, there were too many like walls this color. Bad idea.
It's electric.
Right.
Do we have to go yet?
I think we do. Hey, listen, thanks for watching Talk to DIY. It's the place where we answer all your home improvement questions.
Write down our phone number, too, 1-866-TALK-2DIY, because you want to keep that handy, put it on the refrigerator, and call us next time you need a home repair question answered, because we'll be right here. See you.
That's right.
Welcome to another DIY kit. All the information you need to get the most value for your time, effort, and money. For more helpful advice, go to DIYnetwork.com and click on DIY Kits. Today's kit will show you how to get your garage organized, and it's brought to you exclusively by GMC. The first step in organizing your garage is usually deciding what to keep and what to get rid of. Once you've sifted through your items, sort them into logical groupings. Often, you can create the most space by getting clutter up off the floor. Installing hooks or a simple 1x4 with protruding nails can provide a place to hang your gardening tools. And installing a pegboard will help you to organize those hand tools. Getting some of those larger items stored may be a little trickier. Items such as bikes can really eat into the space that should be reserved for your vehicle. Bicycles can either be hung on brackets from the wall or simply placed on a freestanding bike tree that stretches from floor to ceiling for stability and can hold as many as 4 bikes. If you own canoes or kayaks, locate and mark studs to support their weight and secure hangers or racks into the wall. Or secure a pulley system into the ceiling to hoist your boat up off the floor. Finally, you may want to invest in a storage locker to keep your paddles, life jackets, and the rest of your sporting equipment neatly organized. By properly stowing all of your tools, sporting equipment, and bikes, you'll find what you're looking for much faster. And you'll be able to fit your vehicle into your garage for a change. Log on to DIYnetwork.com for more on today's topic. You'll also find helpful advice, valuable tips, and everything you need to research this and many other projects. Today's kit has been brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
Introducing the new Chevy Uplander. With standard MP3 player, available XM radio, standard 1-year OnStar, and standard rear DVD. Uplander. Technology meets the sport van. Chevy, an American revolution.
Transform your yard into a lavish garden in just 48 hours with DIY's Weekend Landscaping. We'll show you the tools, techniques, and give you the know-how to make your home into a dream home. Weekend Landscaping. Today at 4 Eastern on DIY Network. Online at DIYnetwork.com.